I think the hardest thing to purchase is a good microphone. The average consumer will shoot straight to Amazon, search microphone, and be bombarded with $30 to $40 plastic microphones. Oftentimes, believe it or not, those mics can actually get the job done. But the truth is, it's not the microphone you have, it's how you use it. This is the Boomer and Zoomer's Guide to Recording. In the last video of the series, we talked about audio interfaces. In order to record high-quality audio onto your computer, you're going to need an audio interface with a microphone. I recommend checking out our last video on interfaces before you watch this one. I've linked it in the description below. The best way to understanding how microphones work is realizing that they are not all built the same. There are 3 different types of commonly used microphones, and they're all used in different ways. There are dynamic microphones, ribbon microphones, and condenser microphones. We'll start by understanding how dynamic microphones work. A dynamic microphone converts sound waves into electrical signals. The electrical signals are formulated by 4 main parts in the microphone. Your sound waves will enter the mic usually through a filter. As the sound waves pass through the filter, they will hit the diaphragm of the mic. This is a metallic strip that vibrates to the rhythm of your sound waves. It connects to the coil of the mic, which operates with a magnet below it. The coil of the wire will move along with the diaphragm vibrations, and the coil motion in a magnetic field will generate electrical signals. Through the process of electromagnetic induction, your sound vibrations are creating small electrical signals. This means that dynamic microphones do not require external power to capture sound. Their build makes them extremely durable, a little cheaper than most microphones, and safer to use in live and studio environments. Similar to dynamic microphones are ribbon microphones. Instead of a diaphragm and coil, there is a thin metal ribbon suspended in a long magnetic field. The ribbon is vibrated by the sound waves and conducts an electrical current. Many ribbon mics are just like dynamic mics in the sense that they are passive. This means they don't require power to operate. There are also some ribbon mics that are considered active, meaning they require external power. The concept of active microphones make more sense when talking about our third microphone type, the condenser microphone. Condenser microphones have 2 charged metal plates. There's a fixed plate called the back plate and a moving plate, which is the diaphragm. This forms what is known as a capacitor, and as the diaphragm moves, the space between the plates change. The variation of the plates creates an electrical signal sent to your input. Typically, when you use a condenser with an interface or a mixer, you can enable the phantom power so that the charge comes from the microphone cable. Condenser microphones are complex and shouldn't really be used anywhere but indoors where the temperature is stable. Understanding the build of these mics will help you understand the utility they serve. There's a few characteristics that make each mic special. Depending on the build and direction of your diaphragm, each microphone has a different field of sound capture, and we call that its polar pattern. An omnidirectional mic picks up sound from all 360 degrees. Bidirectional microphones pick up sound from the front and the back. Cardioid microphones pick up sound from the front and reject sound from the rear. These are the most prevalent because of that feature. Hypercardioid are similar to cardioid but also share some pickup from the rear. And supercardioid, which is hypercardioid but more focused. Another characteristic that decides these polar patterns is the size of its diaphragm. Small diaphragm mics are stronger at picking up transients, or high-frequency waves. Transients, like the sound of a hi-hat, send a lot of information in one hit. Small diaphragm microphones can focus on that one instrument, along with their cardioid pattern, so they're useful with very detailed instruments like woodwinds. Large diaphragm microphones are bigger, and that means they sound bigger. They're stronger at picking up low frequencies and give instruments like the voice their full value. So in other words, large diaphragm mics are for the large and big sound. Small diaphragm mics are for the detailed and small sounds. I could go on about different mics and what polar patterns are used for each instrument in recording, but I'll say that the simplest starter mic would have a cardioid pattern. There's one more topic we should cover before we go shopping for microphones, and that is frequency response. Frequency response curves show you how sensitive your microphone is to certain frequencies. For most microphones in the market, you can find the frequency curves online. With dynamic microphones, since their diaphragm is not electrically powered, it's not as powerful and fast as condenser microphones. It can't process the higher frequencies as they travel too fast for the microphone. That's why you'll see a sharp cutoff of frequencies as they get closer to 20 kilohertz. In controlled settings like studios, a condenser usually provides for a wider frequency response pickup, extending strongly into the higher frequencies. Each microphone has a different frequency response, making it better for some instruments or voices. Flat response curves are preferred when recording instruments, and shaped response curves peaking around 2 to 5 kilohertz are preferred for vocal recording. If this is all too confusing for you, don't worry. I remember how confused I was when I got into microphones. That's why today I'm going to give you my top 5 picks for starter microphones priced low to high. The Shure Beta 58 or the SM58, there's only a few differences between the two. Both range around $100 and are the perfect dynamic microphone for live and recording settings. They have a cardioid pattern, they're dynamic, and they work very well in live and studio settings. This microphone's good for mainly recording voice, but it can be used on single instruments as well. Our first condenser mic on this list is actually known for its use in podcasting. The Audio-Technica AT2020 ranges around $130 and is a perfect entry-level condenser microphone. This will require phantom power in your preamp or interface. This is a great starting microphone for vocalists. It has a cardioid polar pattern. Silly but true, my favorite part about this mic is that it's featured in many store bundles, meaning you could get more for your money. One of the prettiest microphones out there is the Bluebird. This comes in around $300, is a condenser microphone, and has a cardioid pattern. It rose to fame in the early days of YouTube when cover artists started using it in all of their videos. Its crystal clear sound almost made it like a studio mic at the price of a consumer mic. Personally, I think it looks really pretty and cool amongst all the other microphones out there. I like using the Bluebird on voice, guitar, and piano. Similar to the rise of the Bluebird is the Shure SM7B. It seems like every video of artists I watch now, everyone's using an SM7B. This comes in at $400, is a dynamic microphone, and sounds as good as any other studio microphone. It's one of the smoother and warmer sounding vocal mics. Its frequency response is actually pretty flat too. I like this mic specifically for voice. And the final mic on my list actually is up for debate. I would say it's my favorite because I've seen so many of my favorite artists use it. So if it's not the mic that you like or the best one, at least take the brand name as one of your options in purchasing microphones. The Neumann TLM102 is my favorite mic and it ranges just around $700. It is a large diaphragm condenser microphone. It has such a sweet and precise sound with vocals. It has a very special clarity with voice, especially when it's rhythmic. It has a partner in the TLM103, which is just above $1,000. You'll see the names Neumann, Shure, AKG, and Audio-Technica in almost every studio you go to. No matter what microphone you purchase, nothing is more important than having a good environment to record in. Now, because we're all purchasing different mics for different reasons, I'll give you my top 3 tips to getting a good recording at home. First, you must decide the distance that you're going to be from your microphone. If you're singing, you might want to be 3 to 5 inches away from your mic. As you belt or get louder, you'll naturally strain away from the mic. This is why you must experiment with different recordings and sounds that you get as you distance yourself from the mic. Remember that the distance and direction decide your outcome. Second, you'll want to minimize your room noise. You want your microphone to only pick up what you give it. Even though you perform right into the mic, your sound waves will reflect around the room that you're recording in, and that gets captured too. This could result in unwanted reverb or echoes. This is why treated studios are the best place to record. Some home hacks I've used to get pure recordings include laying down carpets or blankets, singing in my closet full of clothes, and using any type of dampening in the room around you. Finally, the best thing you can do is listen to yourself as you record and after you record. I learned quickly that a microphone can only do so much because it's all dependent on the performer. Most of the recording problems end up coming back to the performer instead of the mic. The clarity of their speech, their pitch, their volume, their energy all have great effect on the outcome of the recording. With your new microphone, try recording this sentence. People say recording should be done by professionals. When some syllables have strong energy and carry heavy breath, they can actually ruin a recording. The P sound in people and professionals are considered plosives. These aren't that good for recordings, so utilize a pop filter to limit the amount of air traveling into the mic. The S sounds in say and should are called sibilants. They are the whistling syllables that can often be removed using software plugins called de-essers. We'll talk about those in a later video. In summary, your performance is the most important factor in getting a good recording. So as you experiment with your mic, try and try again until you get the perfect result. So now that you know mostly everything you need to know about microphones, I'm so excited to hear what you recorded. In the comments below, share any links you'd like to share with our community, and I'd love to hear it. Also, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below, and I will answer them. I hope this video helps you in your recording journey, and I can't wait to hear what you've completed.